This one's about just the crap that happens in life in general. I don't think super well of myself. Don't have a lot of self-confidence. And I got a large motivation behind me stressfully scrambling every day to accomplish goals. It is approval-seeking behavior. There's that, but like I want to help people too. Even if I don't think super well of myself and don't have a lot of confidence, I do think that I try very hard to be a kind and generous person. I think that's who I am. Anyway, I think I'm just trying to set the stage. I think I'm becoming overwhelmed by the pulls, the variety of directions, and just overwhelmed by the looming threat of the continued damage our conservative leadership is openly doing and somehow convincing their support that it's the good thing. So that's terrifying because, I want my kids to not have to deal with the fallout from this horrifying dystopia. So anyway, today, is a few days after my mom's second knee replacement, and so I'm supposed to be there looking after her. She insists she's fine, and she hasn't taken the opioid pain med that she was prescribed, saying the pain is manageable and fine. And yes, my mom is tough, but some amount of it is her overdoing it, and she needs to actually rest so her body can heal. But at the very least, doctor's orders being that she only needed to have somebody with her in the first 24 hours after, and anytime she's using the opioid for pain management. Anyway, so my wife let me know too, or reminded me that today is a day that our daughter has an after-school thing and our son has an after-school thing, and I'm usually the one that takes my son to his after-school thing. And also, like for both of them to participate in their after-school thing, we both need to be involved. So my mom said she's fine. She was cooking herself dinner as I was leaving. And I feel some guilt at driving away, but I also want my son to participate in this thing. My son is autistic, and this learning experience, learning that almost nothing is easy, and you actually have to devote some time and energy, effort to getting to be good at things. And it's soccer, and he seems to like soccer, but he is very frequently in need of reminding that he has to try to get good at something. He can't automatically be good at it just because he wants to. So yeah, I'm making some special effort to get him to soccer practice. Oh, but that wasn't today's only difficulty. As I was talking about before, my mom is a terrible patient. She doesn't seem to accept the idea that she should be able to sit and rest. She got up and did things when I was asking her to not do those things. She argued back, saying she is supposed to get up and do some things as, physical therapy. She isn't supposed to leave her knee stationary all day, and that's true. But I think she's doing too much. And so that was a frustration from today. My dad is an interesting thing too right now, because he's in a full-time medical care facility. He has multiple sclerosis. He also has lung damage from a couple bouts with pneumonia. And supposedly lung damage is the thing that gets multiple sclerosis people more than any other. So because of the lung damage, he's constantly on an oxygen concentrator, and he had a couple trips to the ER, and it was getting to the point where my mom was his sole caretaker for a long time, and I would help out where I could, but as mentioned also, I have a family. And for most of that time, I also had a job. Right now I'm unemployed, so that's another fun stress to add. This lovely job market that Trump doesn't want to admit is terrible, because he thinks it just makes him look bad. He thinks it's a conspiracy. Moron. So anyway, my dad's in this care facility because my mom can't functionally take care of him all the time anymore. She has her own doctor's appointments to go to. She has grocery shopping she needs to do, and my dad can't be just left alone. So he's in this care facility, but obviously he doesn't want to be there. He keeps hoping he's going to get to go home, but you don't recover from lung damage, and there's no cure for multiple sclerosis, and his care needs aren't going to become less significant. So he's stuck there. And how do you tell a person that is hoping to come home, and that's their only bright spot of hope, that they're not coming home? And then how do you pronounce this word, assuage, I think. My mother's guilt over not being able to be his sole caretaker. She feels guilty that she can't bring him home. And now I feel a little bit guilty because I am telling her that there isn't another way this can go. That if he comes home, his life is going to be shorter. He is much more likely to die there because he doesn't have the medical attention he needs right away, like another 911 call, and maybe that's the last one because they don't get there in time. Where he is, there's immediate medical help. It's not like he does anything different at home anyway. He just sits in a bed. He sometimes watches TV, sometimes listens to audiobooks, and those are things he can do there. We made sure he had an Amazon Echo that he could talk to so that he could listen to Audible there, and all he has to do is talk to it. But anyway, I was just trying to get to the point where I was saying today when we called him, he was freaking out about the oxygen concentrator because they only have the 5-liter ones that are working. Like the 10-liter one is broken and had to be taken off to be repaired or for them to get a replacement, and that's been about a week, maybe a little bit more, like 8 or 9 days since that thing broke. And my dad, when he talked to us today, sounded angry already, wanted to know when he arrived at the care facility, and wanted to know to get an idea for how long the concentrator's been broken, the 10-liter one. And his thought in his head was that it had been a couple months that they haven't gotten the repaired thing back to him. We told him it had only been a week, and he didn't believe us. He straight up said, "You guys are misremembering. You are incorrect." And we're not incorrect, just to be clear on the video, but he refused to believe he might have lost time or misunderstood the passage of time, despite the fact that he spends most of his time sleeping, day or night, and he thinks his sense of time is going to be better than ours. So now I'm a little bit worried about his mental faculties. Today's a kind of a rough day. Among many rough days. One foot in front of the other, right? Thanks for listening.